What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we are getting back into breaking down each one of the XFL teams before the 2023 season, and today we're going to do the DC Defenders. Viking fan 1, 2, 3, listen. You ask and you shall receive. So without further ado, we got the DC Defenders, and they are back for the 2023 season. They will be back in Audi Field again. They'll be back at the home of the beer steak. And listen, this is going to be a great ruckus crowd. The fans loved them the first time around, and they're going to love them even more this time around. Unfortunately, the shield is gone. It's ridiculous. It was one of the best things about the logo, best things about the uniforms. It was fun. It made sense. Defenders, how do you defend yourself with a shield? And they got rid of it. Listen, I think that they did pretty cool with making the C inside of the D. It was kind of a neat thing with the star. It looks good. It's cool. That's fine. Make it part of everything, but keep the shield. I loved the shield. But anyways, really, there isn't a whole lot to really take from this. They look fairly similar to the 2020 version. Now, with the helmets and with the away jerseys, you're going to have that camouflage kind of look with the dark camouflage kind of in the white. You can't see it from far away, but up close you can see it, which I think is a cool accent. Listen, I think that they did a neat thing here, but again, it's kind of like with the Battlehawks. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's kind of how I felt here. It wasn't broke. You didn't need to fix it. But really, all in all, it's sleek, it's clean, it will be just fine, and the fans will love them regardless. And speaking of what I think the fans are going to love is this head coach. Reggie Barlow is kind of, when it comes to pro football, is kind of a guy who would be considered a kind of a new guy to the scene. He's been head coaching down in the college ranks, and now he's ready to move up. I think that this was a great hire for the XFL. He's definitely a guy who's done well where he's at in the college ranks, and I think is ready to move up. Bringing along with him, he's bringing Fred Kais, I don't know how you pronounce his name, and I apologize, but he's a guy who he has coached with before, and it's always good to bring familiar guys with you. And on the defensive side, he's got Greg Williams, who's going to be the defensive coordinator, who's going to be really just running that defense for him. He's a guy that has been all over the NFL, ran some very, very good defensives, some elite defensive units, and those two guys are really, I think, are going to be really nice pieces for him to have in here. So let's go ahead and let's turn our attention now to that defense and Greg Williams. That defense is really going to be a staunch defense. This is going to be, if you ask me, even with the quarterback fight that we're going to get into here, soon, and looking at those quarterbacks that they have, this defense is going to be the centerpiece of this group. I think that this defensive group is going to be what keeps them in games. They're going to be a fun defense to watch. They're going to be flying around the ball. They're going to be having fun. They got Northrum, who's going to be there, the MMA fighter. That's going to be exciting, and he's always good for a quote, so that'll be fun to see. Him mic'd up in different situations, or the mic put in his face. That'll be fun. But this defense is going to be sound. It's going to be fundamental, and it's really going to be a hard-nosed defense that is really going to limit the opposing offenses. Unfortunately, I don't think that the offense is going to be that well. And, really, I guess the old saying goes, if you have more than one quarterback, you don't have a quarterback. And, here I kind of feel like this is kind of, I don't necessarily think it's necessarily on the quarterbacks. I just think it's going to be the style of play. I don't really think they're going to want to run a run-first kind of spread style offense where they're going to bludgeon you with the run game. So, when I look at this, I think that they went and got Abraham Smith from Baylor. young, really good running back. A stout guy that could, that can carry the ball 25 times a game. I think that that's what they're looking to do. They really want to establish the run and then play off of that. And with the quarterbacks that they have, I just don't see that. So really quick, to kind of recap the whole quarterback situation here. You kind of had, so you had D'Eriq King, who was going to kind of come in and be kind of the guy there for them. And he ended up getting signed. So he wasn't there when they assigned their quarterback. So pretty much all they did was assign Eric Dungy. And, which I think Eric Dungy was a good assign for them. He was a guy that I was really rooting to see show up somewhere. That first season, he never materialized onto the field, just from, whether it be the personal kind of things that he had going on, that he had to take time away, or and him signing and then, late, and it never really worked out. And I thought that he would have been a great fit for this league the first time around. So then you bring in D'Eriq King, and then you got Jordan Ta'amu, who also was brought in later. And I think that this really is a two-man race with Jordan Ta'amu and D'Eriq King. However, I don't really think that this is going to go very far. So when you start looking at the wide receivers, not that there isn't anything wrong with these guys. I don't know. I haven't really seen anything out of them to really make me think that, with looking at these guys, that these are going to be the standout guys that they're going to need to make those plays in, that passing game, play action passing game, things of that nature, to where they're really going to have to rely on, I believe, on the running game of the quarterbacks. And, and two, I think that they're really wanting to play to the tight end. I think that the Ethan Wolf is going to be their tight end. It seems to be seems to be the push here with this offense. And so, really, I think that it could be Ta'amu's game, it could be D'Eriq King's game, and they might even go back and forth because either one will probably play well. I think you're gonna see kind of with Jordan Ta'amu. I feel like you're gonna get what you got with him when he was in Tampa Bay. Except for this time, I don't necessarily think it's going to be the offensive line. It's going to be more just the wide receivers. I don't think that the talent's there to really be able to exploit the opposing defenses. I could be wrong, and I hope that they prove me wrong. But this could also turn into the Battlehawks, from 2020 type of a offense where they had a really strong running game. Ta'amu, picked things up that he needed with his legs, and then they had some big plays down the field. But if they don't get play out of the wide receiver core, I don't think anything's going to happen there. To where it could turn into a D'Eriq King show where he's running the ball all over the place and then hitting guys where he can and just running that read option type of a thing. But who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm just very, very skeptical of this offense. I think that Eric Dungy by the end of the season will probably end up the starting quarterback somewhere else. I don't see him ending up on this team. I think that they'll get in and some other team will need a quarterback and he'll end up going, to some team, whether one got hurt or, to one of these other rosters that will end up needing a quarterback. So I think that Eric Dungy's time is limited here in DC, but in all reality, if he moves fast, I think that he could be starting somewhere else come like week 5, week 6. I really do believe that. This is a team that their defense, like I said before, is going to keep them in games because I think their offense is going to be really anemic, and I don't think that they're going to get much out of this offense. That's just the way that I look at it. This team, I think that their ceiling, even though they have the coaching staff, I just don't think that they have the star power on offense to really get them where they need to be. I see really like 5 wins, more like 3 wins out of this team is kind of where I'm seeing things, to where they're going to be in a lot of close games. They just can't pull things out, and just because their offense can't score points. They'll hold teams to say, let's say 17, 20, 21 points, 24 points, but they can't score, 10 points is kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, they're going to win games 17-10. They're going to lose games 17-10. They're going to lose games, 21-13, stuff like that, 21-12, just that type of a fight. I don't see a lot of production out of the offense for this team, even though that these three quarterbacks are guys that I would be really excited about normally. Just in the situation where I'm just not really excited about it. This is a team that everything on paper I'm excited about, but for whatever reason, I just don't think that they're going to gel together and put it together. Again, it has nothing to do with the way that this team's been set up. I think it's been set up for success. I just don't like how they drafted this team. I'm not really seeing those pieces that really stick out to me. They could prove me wrong, but in all, the best I see is a 500 team here. As always, I want to know your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If I'm totally wrong, that's okay. Let me know down there. If you think I'm right, let me know down there too. I'd like to know that. And yeah, let's continue the conversation on down there. All right, listen, guys, I know that you're busy and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. Have a good night. Bye.